Hello again, everybody. I'm back here with Stewart. This is Physics of Creation. I'm Steve Locse, if you wish. And we will continue with the questions and answers session, all right? Because we decided to do it this way. So, welcome back, Stewart, again.
Thank you, Istvan.
And let's do the next question. We will not finish because I have a lot. We will not finish. I'm sorry for that, but people must understand it. Okay, here goes the first one. Say, do you know anything about monatomic gold?
Yes, I've written about it. And of course, the original one comes from ancient Egypt. And it was supposedly derived from the bodies of the mummies, which they said they could make a powder and would make rejuvenation or health benefits. This became very popular in the Middle Ages in Europe, when the tomb robbers, the ones who would steal the artifact, they would take this and sell it to the European royalty because they knew they would get a lot of money for this. But in modern times, in recent times, unfortunately, what they are saying on the internet or what they say is monatomic gold, this is not real. This is manufactured by who knows what, and nobody knows what's really in it. And I have never seen anyone gain any benefit from it, so I would advise all of the listeners to be very careful about such thing.
Okay, we know something about ancient writings in this issue, for example, from different researchers, that Anunnaki used monatomic gold and they ate it. I don't know if you agree with that version. Well, they say that it's actually real gold, but refined so highly that they separate the atoms from each other. So they are breaking the molecules, let's say like that. And in this way, monatomic gold would be a very high or very precise conductor, high conductor. So it could induce in human body, if you consume it, it would induce in the cells, in our cells, a toroid, and the cell would live longer, for example. And even it would give maybe psychic capacities to the person. And I don't know what else. But I neither recommend in my videos to consume anything like that. Nor ormus, nor anything like that. Because actually that some of researchers and physicists discovered that we ourselves, we are able to produce that toroid in our chromosomes, for example, without any gold, just by ourselves, by emotions, let's say like that. So we do not need it, actually. Well,
plus, to ingest metal is very dangerous, even in that form. Because it embeds in the cells and it can cause a lot of damage. So I never suggest this.
Exactly. Is what I told also. So we agree.
Yeah.
Good. Mm-hmm. Let's go with another question. What about your experience in Buenos Aires? Some rituals? Yes. Because somebody knew about you that you went to Buenos Aires and is asking about your experience.
Well, I have been there a few times, and I have stated Buenos Aires is my favorite city on the earth. I just love Buenos Aires. And it's the good energy. For me, I like it, even though I don't like hot weather. But I will say the very first time that I went to Buenos Aires, yes, you can read this in the Blue Blood book. It was a very difficult situation. I was with an Illuminati person who was threatening my life and my family's life. Ooh. And so it was a difficult time. And yes, there were rituals involved, and there was many things happening, which too much to discuss here. But my first visit was not pleasant. But subsequently, I've gone back, and it was very wonderful.
All right. Thank you.
And I hope to come back again.
Of course. Good. Let's go with another one. If you know something about that. What about the blood group? Do they have a preference for any particular group? I mean, about, for example, the negative and positive in blood groups. Mm-hmm. What do you know about that? RH.
Yes. Yes, I've also. I think it's in Blue Blood book also. The ones who have Rh negative blood have more open reptilian genetics. Those who have Rh positive have more mammalian open genetics. But doesn't mean anything good or bad. It just means it's the way the body type is. And also that has to do sometimes with programming and mind control that will affect the blood type.
And why are there only 15% of Rh positive, I think, in the world?
I think this is because of the reptilian influence of programming, which opens up more of the reptilian brain stem and then activates the reptilian DNA. So this is a factor.
All right. And so the not abductees, the abusers prefer Rh negative?
Not necessarily. No? Because look, we all have both reptilian and mammalian. All people have. So it doesn't matter. The control system is 100%. Whether you're negative or positive doesn't matter.
So actually, the news which are going through internet, that some people say that the abductors prefer Rh negative than positive, because they are looking for something. They are looking for something, maybe, or I don't know.
It's only my opinion that the ones with negative are more easily controlled. That's the only.
All right then. Okay, let's continue. Reptilians vibrate at a higher rate than humans. This is another one from the same people. Where were you born? Why didn't your mother have a cesarean section instead of reconstruction of birth canal? Let's go with the first one.
First of all, reptilians do not have higher frequency. I don't know where that came from.
No, it's a question. It's a question. Oh. Do they have a higher?
No, absolutely not.
All right.
Absolutely not. It's just different. It's just different. Where was I born? I was born in New York City.
All right.
Why did my mother have that surgery? Because in those days, nobody had cesareans. They not heard of it. It was 100 years ago. But
100 years ago?
Hundreds of years ago, yes. But no, they just didn't do it those days. It was almost unheard of.
Yeah.
But remember, there was special circumstances on my birth, and so they sent special things in to do that.
Okay, good. That's all. Let's continue if we have a little more time. 1 or 2 questions. How much can we take? As
One
you
or
say.
two.
All right. Let's see how. Okay. Where have you been at Montauk at the moment of the creation of Bigfoot? Where have you been?
Well, it wasn't Bigfoot, number one.
All right.
It was an energy monster, an energy creation that looked like Bigfoot. It was not Bigfoot.
All right.
Where was I? I was in my home, approximately 60 kilometers west of there when that happened. I was not there when that happened.
All right. But you could see the remnants, I mean, after that. Well, because I suppose you went back to the base. Afterward? No?
I went back, but not right away. Because it would collapse. Everything was shut down. So there was a lot of chaos for a long time after.
Because you said that the remnants, I mean, that footprint, it left behind. Last 2 years.
For years. Yeah. But
could you see that?
Below ground.
Could you see that?
No, that was. If you had gone to that location, yes, but I did not go to that location.
Right. So, because there was another PS to this. How can you be so confident? I mean, how can you trust this if you didn't see it?
Because I know the people who were there, and I did trust them.
All right. Good. And the last one, though, I think is the most difficult one. So, when people die and must cross the tunnel toward the light, is it a deceive of the archons to mislead the people to reincarnate? And how can we, if yes, how can we avoid it?
That is an entire seminar. But it's not the archons, no, it's the Illuminati and some alien groups who create a false light to entrap people.
All right.
However, this occurs mostly to people who are, let's say, drug addicts, alcoholics, on medications, not good mind pattern. That's generally who has the problem. If you are a spiritual person and you do your work and you connect to the God mind, this will not happen to you.
And there was another question actually that it's not here, but somebody else separately asked that those people actually, exactly these people who you mentioned, can they do something to avoid it at the moment of death, for example, or not? Well, there is nothing to do.
Look, if they use a higher frequency, if they go into lion frequency, if they go to dolphin frequency, if they use violet protection, if they connect to oversoul, then it's not a problem. You know, but
can they do that? Can they do that exactly at the moment of death, for example?
Well, they should be doing that before the moment of death. You know, because when you pass on, once you go to the moment of death, a lot of transitions, energy switching is difficult to just do that at the moment. So it should be before moment of death.
I don't know if you agree with a theory which is coming from Dan Winter, that he's saying that actually what we should do is to produce this kind of toroid, as I talked about, to generate bliss in the DNA, and that makes, he is using these terms, that makes a successful death, for example. Well, I don't know if you know his theories, or what do you say? Not really.
No, I don't agree with that. First of all, at death, DNA is useless because that's only for living bodies. So that doesn't make sense to me.
All right, no problem. Good, so let's stop here and we'll mark it. Okay, and we'll continue in the next session with more questions, and we will get more questions in the meantime. Anyway, thank you again, Stewart. This was wonderful, and really hope to continue and maybe to do more sessions with other things, as you mentioned, as you proposed to do some new series. If you are willing to do it, I'm open to it. So anytime you just call, we go in. Okay. So we will.
Okay,
I would only say that. Well, I would ask you to if you want to give a little bit of aspect. What would we do in this series?
Basically along the lines of what we're doing now, but I would like to increase the information on current events, like I do in my podcast, and explain what's going on so people can do something about their own lives and protect themselves and their families and understand what's happening in the world. I think this is very important, to really understand current events.
Yeah. You said something about Kuiper Belt.
Kuiper Belt, yes.
Kuiper Belt. Okay.
Yes,
some news. Right. You get some news from there.
Sometimes I do. It's not always, but yes, sometimes I get information.
That would be really great to know something from a direct source. Good, that's all for now. All right, so thanks again, and see you very soon. Again, thank everybody. Thank for everybody for watching, for listening, and hope to see you back here. Nothing more. A big hug to everybody. Okay? See you later.